What is up, Paragon community? We are back at it again with Game 2 here. We're going to have the competitive QA team. I'm here with Notch and Shane. My best buds, you there?
Well met.
Well met.
Best buds in the world.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun. That was a fun game.
Oh, yeah, it was exciting.
I'm excited about this comp QA game.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I have a lot vested emotionally.
Yeah.
You do.
Spiritually.
Yeah.
Remember when you were good as them?
I remember. I remember those days. Those are good. When I was gonna when I said I'd shave my head if I lost, and then I had.
And then you shaved your head.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that was the proof is in the hair. The lack of.
The lack of.
The lack
hair.
thereof.
Right.
So we're gonna be heading into this next match. Should be an exciting one. To be honest with you, I think that a lot of these guys kind of know each other's styles.
Right.
Like with the last match, of course, you said some of those guys played on a competitive team together, or like they play in like Gore's Rising, some of those tournaments. But these guys, every day, it's back to back, so they know like the subtle nuances. Like, oh, I know that like Equinox does this, or like I know that Sundown does this specifically.
Yeah.
So they all kind of have their specific little niche things they do.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I thought it was really funny. Array was building somewhat of a tanky Murdoch the other day. We were like hanging out playing games, and I recalled it back to Dan Miller, one of the CompQA leads. He actually, I remember being in a game and be like, Dan, why do you have so much health? And he's like, oh man, I'm just building a tank. I got this. I was like, all right, Dan. All right, I trust you. Put my full trust in you. It's fine. I'm just a simple steal in this lane.
Right.
Don't mind me. And it's like he's peeling for me because he's tankier. So that's what ends up happening.
What I expect to see here from these guys is, while the last game, don't get me wrong, there are some beautiful plays.
Yeah.
Those are, those guys sometimes it's the first time playing with each other, possibly. They don't play with each other. These guys play with and against each other, as you mentioned, so much that there's going to be coordination. There's going to be a lot, I think we're going to see a lot more strategy, in-depth strategy, tactics, so on and so forth, because of that fact. And so this is really going to hopefully be a great display of how deep this game goes strategically, tactically, when it comes to just so many different levels. That's the thing I'm most excited about, is to see what these guys pull off.
For such a deep match, we have an awesomely deep question for this challenge. And once again, to remind everybody out there, link your Twitch account to your Epic Games account to receive some awesome rewards. We will be doing these challenges every game.
Oh, man.
Like,
hello?
Like, come on.
So
hello?
You can't keep showing these skins to me, and then I don't have them.
That's two. I don't know if you guys are keeping count at home. That's two Scarab skins. We saw the Onyx, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the black and gold.
Yep.
And the Gilded, which is that one there.
Two Grux, two Furious.
Two Grux.
Oh, man.
Two Furious. I'm waiting for Tyrese to pop up on screen right now and talk about how hungry he is. Old Fast and Furious references right there. 4 people got that in chat.
I'm a big fan of making those.
4 people got that in chat.
But yeah, so the question today will be which team will have the most assists at the end of the match.
Ooh.
That's a hard one.
And you were going to be typing exclamation point vote #orange or #blue. The respective rewards for blue, you're going to get 5 affinity packs. And for orange, it's 1 card pack.
Affinities, huh?
So it's like, do you want to be a little bit, we could segue into a little, if you want to, I mean, Shane,
what's an affinity?
You want to...
So each hero has a particular affinity. Most have 2, some have 1.
Right?
Double affinities, if you will. And there's certain cards that only certain heroes can pick up due to those affinities. So what you mean by affinity specific is, for example, Sparrow is growth. There's a lot of other growth heroes, but Sparrow is the only growth ranger. Right? So she has access to certain cards within that affinity that none of the other rangers have.
Right.
So it'll be cards specific to those affinities.
Exactly.
So that's
a good, that could be a good pick right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see my boy Sundown here.
There he is. Oh, the man bun and everything.
There he is. He's been grooming that for ages. And I've seen so many cycles.
Back when you were good, he was bald, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, his hair is clearly where he derives his strength.
Yeah.
It has to.
And I understand that as well.
Right.
And we have we have Equinox over there sitting next to...
Jay Giggles.
Classic Jay.
Classic Jay.
Sitting next to Ben. We got Ben, Equinox. Like this should be a good match. I'm really excited. I like how Ben usually living a little casual. He's got the button up today.
He knew he was going to be on camera.
Looking fresh for camera.
I mean, I wore purple for camera.
Yeah,
I was like, I got to be on camera.
You know what? I'm more
I feel
of a
like
lavender guy.
we did like a gradient thing here.
Yeah.
Where
we kind of did. You're right.
You know what I mean?
I called him when I was getting ready this morning.
You better wear something a shade lighter than
like a lavender-ish, a light purple.
We did this right.
We actually went out and got these in the morning.
Nice.
That's a lie.
Did you go to Dillard's?
Mm-hmm.
I went to Macy's.
Macy's. All right, I see.
Not a sponsor.
You need purple. I need purple. Let's do this.
I
want to look at the actual. Do we have? We don't know yet, but I'm curious to see. Do you think these guys are going to play the heroes that they're most comfortable with?
Or are they going to mix it up?
Or are they going to mix it up? Are they going to do something fun and exciting? Because this is a moment for them.
Right.
This is exhibition. We're not putting on. This is not the top of the top. These guys are having fun. They're showing these new guys how much fun it is, not only to watch because it's a blast to watch, but how much fun it is to play.
Right.
And there's only 20 heroes in the game, but there's 20 different heroes that all play differently.
One every 3 weeks, right? Hashtag 3 weeks.
Hashtag every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see. I know we're going to be jumping into this game here right now.
This is I mean, honestly, I'm very excited because I've seen a lot more of those mechanical shenanigans in these games than I've seen in a lot of other games.
Right.
And like those are always the entertaining things to me. It's like, oh, did he just land that Decker ball from miles away?
From tier 2?
Yeah, like from tier 2. Like where was that? Where did that come from?
The stasis bomb, or as I like to say, the status bomb.
Status
bomb.
Because you're showing them your status.
It's just, yeah, like it's that person who just bombards your feed.
So
about really ambiguous stuff. Really annoying.
It really
is. It really is. I'm looking at Notch in case you guys can't see. You guys can't see him. I'm looking right at him.
He is. I can confirm that.
Because we don't have, this is Comp QA, we don't have their names on there. I do want to introduce the characters that they're playing on.
Yes.
Shane.
Hello.
I'm going to let you do blue, buddy.
You know my favorite color.
I do.
It's not purple.
What a nice guy.
So, we have on the blue team Sparrow, Richter, Muriel, Gadget. The color. Yep. There's Gadget, and and Grux. So now on that team, there's some heroes we didn't see before. Specifically, Gadget. Seeing Gadget and Grux come out, the GG already come out.
That's a comp team special. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Is it really? Are we learning secrets?
Well,
today?
No. There are a couple of guys on the comp team that will swear by Gadget. One of them, Skylar. He's actually one of the newer members of the comp team. Like I've seen him like play. He will play very large amounts of Gadget. We actually have an update on the vote. Hashtag blue sitting at 64% for those people going with those affinity rolls.
I like that decision. Mooney, I'm gonna orange team. No, I'm gonna let Mooney do it. I normally do this, but I feel like Mooney needs to do this. I want hype. I want excitement. Who's on the orange? Wait a second. We've got a fight going down. Chimera's going to catch out Richter here in the mid lane and jump on him. And Richter's actually going to fall. Are they going to be able to, they're not going to be able to turn get Sparrow. That was aggressive. They were going into the enemy camp picking up that buff.
Yeah.
Blue team got aggressive and they got punished for it. So now that that's happened, who's on the orange team, buddy?
So on the orange team, we got Decker at the top there, Grim.exe, Gideon, Severog, and we see that Chimera coming back through.
We've got some good team comps here.
Yeah, and honestly, like I'm very just excited to see how they play these heroes because it's when I get the perspective of I come back to these guys and I'd be like, hey man, like I'm trying to hop back in, play some cool different heroes on live. You got any tips for Severog?
Right.
And I hear about them saying like they're preferring laning him, and that was one of the things where I just was like, I mean that's super awesome, and I've tried it, but do you have any tips on how to execute? And I think what'll be cool is to see how they are able to, because we have like that Muriel off lane versus the Severog off lane, both the unorthodox strategies I kind of heard in comp where I hadn't seen it before.
Right. I do want to point something out. So we talked about the Twitch API stuff. You link your account, you get that free, you possibly get that free Grux skin. We actually have one of the competitive guys on Grux is rocking that skin.
Oh my.
Showing it off. I mean, look at how amazing that. So we got the red one. The red one came out last week.
Yep. Yes.
And these are the Twitch API. So head over, there's a link down below, click on that, and you have a chance to actually pick up that particular skin, and it looks beautiful.
I mean, I feel like I'm actually having my face bashed in when I get hit with this.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. So we're going to see the standard laning phase come up here. So this is a little bit different, because you and I are used to casting the community. We're getting to see the behind the scenes here.
These guys are fighting for glory. QA team, they don't fight in front of people very often.
They don't. How different do you think how different do you think it's going to be though?
I don't know, man, because you got to understand that, sometimes they're testing different stuff out, and that's their kind of their job.
Right.
So this may be something that they haven't done in quite some time, if they're not familiar with like a certain build or something like that. But I think overall, just because they've played together and against each other so long, which we've talked about.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing.
That's going to be the big thing right there. Is like they can't see each other's names, but they can tell just by who's playing.
Well, they know exactly who's playing everywhere. They're like, that's Ben's Decker.
Typical Equinox, just dying
typical Equinox
all the time.
feeding again.
Like, exactly.
Laughing and dying.
Exactly.
Jay giggles.
That's all he does.
Jay giggles.
If you guys ever see Equinox in game, Jay giggles.
His name is actually Equinox Jay Giggles.
Yeah. Either hashtag Classic J or hashtag JGiggles, he'll know exactly what you're talking about, and he'll laugh for 45 minutes.
One here we didn't see last match that we are looking at right now.
There was
that's hot. There. Look at Grux get in there. That's the power of the skin right there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just kidding.
Power.
It's literally
power of the skin.
Just so there's clarification, the skin doesn't actually.
Minimum 6 card.
Minimum
6 card power.
Oh, Chimera hits level 5. Time to go in there and time to dive. There's the black hole. And that's going to take a look at Gideon, the animation. So Gideon, another hero we didn't see last match. He is a wizard, Harry. He's able to go in there. He's able to manipulate physics. We saw the ultimate right there, the black hole, where pretty self-explanatory. Pulls him in, does a big amount of damage.
That's what black holes do.
That is what I'm pretty sure.
Of all the black holes I've seen, that's all I've seen them do.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I feel like 2 I've seen.
2 or 3 of them.
2 or 3.
Couple of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Gideon explains the black hole the best.
Yeah, it really does. But he's sort of he has a lot of front-loaded damage with his Cosmic Rift. And one of the really cool things about him is, as you saw him teleport, he warped space-time. We're going all interstellar on here, guys. He warped space-time through a wormhole, except there's no Matthew McConaughey, and was able to jump through it. But what also was great about that ability, it also that wormhole lasts for a little while, and your teammates are able to jump through it. So it's great utilization. And Paragon, with it having the verticality, as we like to say, you are able to use that strategically and tactically in ways that I don't even think, so Early Access has been out for about 6 months now.
March 14th.
Yeah, since, for about that while, that particular period of time, Notch, that we haven't even begun to see tap into the potential of that hero utilizing that. Getting up certain terrain, down certain terrain, means of escape, initiating with it, so on and so forth. You see the meteor falling down there. And another hero I want to talk about, Gadget. This girl right here knows her way around a robot, as you can tell. It's their main source of power. Her ultimate Tesla Dome, a little homage over there to the boy of electromagnetism of Tesla, is a big dome. It actually does, correct me if I'm wrong, Mooney, does the most damage of any ability in the game. Cumulatively.
Over the full duration.
Over the full duration.
And of course, it's one of those things. It's like getting people to stay in it. Is the
you know who can do that? Maybe a black hole.
Oh,
what? Are you talking about wombo combos?
What?
I don't know.
I'm assuming it's where you combo the ability,
but
from Gideon.
Here's the thing about it, is it's also a great counter. The reason I want to talk about these two heroes back to back is the way they play with their strengths and heroes is in the laning phase. In the middle lane, we were just watching there just a second ago. Gideon definitely has the upper hand to bully around the gadget.
Yes.
Just the way the skill set is. But when it comes down to team fights and skirmishes, the big drawback of that black hole, Gideon's ultimate, is that it keeps him static, it keeps him still.
He's also able to be interrupted.
So the Tesla Dome utilization with Gadget is almost an ability where Gideon, I dare you to try to ultimate, because I'm gonna
ult me right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a matter of it's a matter of battle of physics.
You put yourself in that position where you can no longer move.
Right.
I'm doing my animation, and Gadget's just gonna go. I'm gonna Tesla Dome, and I'm gonna walk away from you, and you're gonna take on my damage. What do you do?
Right. Is it worth it to you to keep that ult up to potentially CC targets or like deal the damage?
In there, Gideon's moving forward. There's that containment fence into the beautiful black hole in the sky, and that's what you want to see, ladies and gentlemen. That wombo combo over to the left of the screen. Steady Spawn goes down as well of the call. He's trying to get himself away. Grim comes in with the GTFO, living up to its name. Beautifully done. Gadget's down thus far, but the team fight continues as Sparrow was trying to get there, but unfortunately was a little bit too hungry for her game. Rux is going to get taken out, and this is looking great for Team Orange right here. They went in there, beautiful timing, and just that was all about that Decker containment field into the Gideon black hole.
That was
beautifully done.
Yeah, good combo
that team fight was pretty grim.
Pretty grim.
Yeah.
That was a 5v4, by the way. Just a heads up.
Yeah.
Sevarog's still in lane over here. He's working on those sexy Sevarog shoulder pads. Is what he's doing right now.
Now here it is right here. That black hole with the containment fence, which you guys, of course, watching in the video there. And they dissected them here in the jungle. These are two pathways. That was beautiful play by Decker. Drop the containment field, immediately recognize the gadget, way out of position, drop the stasis spawn. That Decker player right there, whoever that is, we know it's not you, Mooney, was able to make a big play. The containment field in one area, immediately recognized, rotated to another area. Great awareness of what's going on in a team fight. A hallmark of a great player.
Yeah.
I mean, and Grim being able to get off that ultimate before getting pulled by that Grux back over there.
Right.
The timing on that. Gideon being able to maneuver his way around Grim, and Grim being able to slightly body block so he didn't get taken out in that fight was huge for them, because not losing out any teammates in that engagement made it so it was all profit.
Yeah,
100% profit right there.
Step 1, containment field. Step 2, black hole. Step 3,
Profit?
No, step 4.
Step 4 is profit.
Oh.
Step 3 is
destroy your enemies with 0 concern.
Something along those lines.
I want to actually see these guys as builds. Again, this is kind of like a sneak
curious.
peek.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
like,
sneak
are
peek.
they-
Remember, man, we look at the builds and we see our builds. We're sitting. Orange team obviously is going to take a slight lead here. We've got, look at Grim at 18 card power and Chimera at 21 right now.
You know what? That's like 21 card points, man.
That's like 21 card points. But we're seeing, if we take a look at Grim, we've got a Shadow Scroll coming out. He's just now starting to build into a Shadow Scroll, which is going to give him some penetration.
Yep.
It's going to give him a little bit of damage. It's a really great card for Grim, and it does so much in those team fights.
There it is.
And he's built 2-point cast cards in that, so he's going to get a ton of damage. He's going to get a little penetration passively, and it's going to help deal with that armor that they're building.
Chimera going in there, disrespecting Grux. Grux using that smash and grab ability. He's going to get himself away, but you can't get away from the Chimera. We saw it in game number 1 here, game number 2 as well. Using the black hole, trying to keep the Grux in position. There's the call to finish him off. That's the thing about Chimera, man. He's always got you number. He's never going to miss that call.
Yeah, that was... God. Resetting, it was actually honestly really impressive the way he was confidently able to come to, and the extreme confidence again, just coming up on that gadget, being able to roll up and just take her out without a fear in the world.
Right.
Chimera playing extremely fearlessly right now, and I think that's honestly the most dangerous
way to go,
thing.
man.
And it's the most dangerous thing for the opposing team to have to deal with that a confident Chimera.
So Chimera picked up the black buff.
Yep.
Yes.
They're making a rotation over here. This is already very low. Gideon's already come in behind it.
Oh, they're saying,
are they going for Muriel?
They said, we want Muriel. We want to get that cyborg support. We're tired of your shields. Root's going to go down from Sevarog. Now, Sevarog, a hero, we haven't been able to touch on much. He's such a nice looking guy.
Delightful, honestly.
He's a delightful guy. But his set is basically, he has a lot of control. We talked about Greystone. He's a contrast to Greystone in a sense.
Yeah.
Where Greystone doesn't have much control, but it's hard to take him down.
Right.
Sevarog is he's a contrast to that where, don't get me wrong, he's tanky. But he has to be very cognizant of his positioning in team fights. He has his ensnare. His ultimate is a huge knockback. And of course, his ability to siphon and build up over time.
Build up that
both of them,
damage.
both just a big difference of style here. We saw Greystone on Selwonk. And I mean, it all depends. The Paragon has different styles for whichever one you're looking for right there.
You want to be a little bit more aggressive. I feel like Greystone's definitely early game. He's more aggressive. But Sevarog, as you build up his Q or his
he's
square
a force
ability,
to be reckoned with, man.
And he starts to passively gain that health. He gets that extra damage on his Q up to about 80 stacks. He can really build more armor and be very, very tanky and very frontline and really disrupt that backline.
Yep.
And that's one of the things I've always, speaking with Sevarog specifically, I kind of enjoyed playing him because it's kind of this idea that I'm in this lane alone with this person. Right. If I am able to net some sort of gain, I can use that later in the game to translate into helping my team. So whatever deficits they might have gotten from me not being there, I can fill in later.
Right. Can I be completely honest?
No.
Okay. I play Sevarog in the jungle. That's the way I've played
Sevarog.
Sevarog.
And
I know you talked about this. You were saying that they play them in the lane.
Strategies, yeah.
Right. I love Sevarog in the jungle. I pick up my Beastmaster's key, and I roam the jungle and take those white camps and make sure I'm getting my stacks. I have, in my mind, at this particular point in the game, I want to be at 20 stacks.
Right.
The faster I can get there, I feel like I'm more productive and I'm more useful in a team fight. And that's not what we're seeing here. He's been in lane the majority of the time. And I'm interested to see how that plays out in the long run, and it's going to go a lot with his builds.
Right.
Look at those red bushes.
They're so nice. We know we're on the red side of the map right now. The red buff is over here because of these. But I want to see what his build is and see how that plays out for him.
Yeah.
Because I actually focus on farming those siphon stacks. For me, that's important.
Yeah.
And you can get carried away with that as I'm not a competitive player.
Out-carried.
Here's it.
Goes in.
Huge.
There's that Tesla Dome we were talking about. It forces Chimera back. It's a zoning tool. Chimera very hesitant to go in there. Almost take it out. Oh, the gadget bomb was almost enough to take him. But that's a big... I mean, he's got the black buff, the red buff, the blue buff. Went in, tried to get the kill. Wasn't able to. Almost entirely because of that Tesla Dome. Quick reaction, drop the Tesla Dome, realize Chimera, you have to make a decision. Is this kill worth it at this point in time? You got to stay under here and take all this damage, or are you going to get away and give yourself the fight?
So also taking tower damage.
Forces that decision as well. But to follow up with your point there, how you like playing Sevarog one way, and right now we're seeing played Sevarog another way.
Right.
beautiful. Isn't that amazing that you can take a hero like that, who intuitively looks like he has one particular role, and then say, you know what, I want to try it another way,
right?
And both yield success.
Exactly, and you can find successful results with both.
There's different ways to play him. Sevarog can go from just being a good means of just staying in a lane because he's so tanky and getting him that siphon and that off-lane sort of role, the 1v1 sort of role that they generally, when you do see melee, are in. Or you can put him in the jungle and it just put more priority on, okay, let's get Sevarog on a little bit earlier, base a strategy around that, get his siphon stacks up to 20, get him level 5, get some harvesters online, because Sevarog is able to pick up with his corruption affinity, which we touched on, is able to pick up one of the few keys that grants you a lot of stats. That's one of the big advantages of that corruption affinity that he has. And it's not only applicable to Sevarog, but a lot of other heroes. Again, the offensive, defensive capability of Muriel, the ability to take a hero like Richter and say, I'm going to make him more of a damage-based tank, or you can put him in a support role, where instead of going damage, he can just get the wards, he's the one getting the harvesters, and his skill set allows for that stylistically, strategically different play between each team.
And speaking of style, the swag back.
The swag right there.
Swag back, the E into the shadow pad.
I'm going to rift into the shadow pad and then recall, like, come at me, bro.
No, you know,
that was practice.
I mean, that may. I feel like that's an Equinox move. I'm not going to make.
Is that a Jay Giggles?
You know he's giggling right now. But you know I feel like I can hear some faint giggles.
So we are seeing a little bit of aggression here from Decker. Deckers is a support character, not going to do a ton of damage. Has wonderful support for her team though. She's got a stun. She's got that cage where it locks everybody up. She's got the slow bubble as well. In a 1v2 situation, she's not going to win that fight. She will annoy the crap out of you for 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh man, she'll tickle you to death with a little laser beam.
So, again, I want to talk about this real quick. How we're 16 minutes in. We've got 6 assists on Decker right now.
Oh man, it's like she's a support or something.
It's like she's but
that's crazy.
What are you? People voted Team Blue, right?
Yes.
Let's look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, and we'll see.
And I want to see who has the most assists right now. Yeah. Right now at 17 minutes. This could change. So we've got 16 assists on the side of Orange. And
they've been rolling together like as a team.
Yes.
And that's really been huge. We're gonna have to see if in like that mid to late game, we get to that later in the game period, if the blue team can rally some of those like team fights and really get some of that damage in.
Right.
Talking back to the point you were speaking earlier about lane matchups, Shane, with regards to mid lane, I think we kind of have that similar like rock paper scissors Rochambeau, what have you, happening in the bottom lane as well. With like you kind of have the Richter and the Sparrow, but you have this Grim who's kind of like cheating in and out, maybe giving the presence of a jungler up.
There's a battle of fighters going down right here.
Yeah,
Grux and Chimera trying to see. It's the Tomahawks versus the Mace, right there. Grux charging away. He's getting on him though. Pops. The Warpath challenge right there. Muriel giving the shield. Containment fence goes down as well. Is there any follow-up? They're pretending Grux. There's that black hole, but the reversal of fortune. Look out. Watch out, Gideon. He's static. They're focusing him down. Can they bring him down? The shield is keeping Grux alive. He's swinging to try to bring him down. No one is quite dead yet. Smash and grab not going to be there. He was looking to pull someone underneath that tower. But that was a very, very close team fight. It is not over yet, though. You can see Chimera's very low. Gadget's thrown out the bomb. Muriel looking to maybe do some body blocking or some sort of shenanigans. She's not able to dish out much damage, but can at least be a nuisance and can be difficult to take down. Decker versus Muriel, trying to figure out who's the better support. And this is, looks like that the blue team has an advantage. The bomb, no, it's not going to latch on. But here comes Chimera re-engaging immediately. This is a beautiful re-engagement. There's also Sparrow on the high ground using her ultimate inner fire. Here comes that meteor from the sky and is going to convert the kill on to Gadget right there. Here comes Grux, look for a smash and grab. The skewer's there. Oh, there's a little bit too late as Sevarog was able to Babe Ruth them away. The hook, the stylistic hook, ladies and gentlemen, right through the heart at Gideon. And he is going to get taken apart. That was a very scrappy engagement. Initially, with that initiation, was very, very even. But nonetheless, they come out ahead. And all the meanwhile, Grim pushing down, picks up a tower right there. Tit for tat. That's the big thing with some of these really high-level plays, is the good players, the good teams, never lose something without gaining something in return.
You trade.
Exactly.
And I think that, honestly, that was in the back of my mind, is I was constantly thinking, while they are chasing these kills, is somebody else. Like, my eyes immediately went to the mini-map.
Let's take a look at this. There was that containment. The containment fence went down. Gideon's using that black hole. The reversal of fortune was what kept this Grux alive. Gideon also, this so close to going down right there. I mean, any one extra auto attack, anything like that, could have swung that initial engagement into one of those teams' favors. But man, Jay on that Gideon, he knew exactly when to get out.
You talked about earlier though. Do you make the decision to sit in a Tesla dome because Gadget dropped the Tesla dome,
right?
And Gideon sat in it. And that's where that majority of damage came from, was the Tesla
I questioned that decision when Grux was able to live through his black hole with the Muriel ultimate coming down, knowing he was going to get interrupted.
Right.
Because you make the decision, do I want to be prematurely interrupted, or will this damage stick be enough? And I think there may have been like kind of that miscalculation, like I think I got this, I think we are able to do this, and something comes up and you know, alters that perception of what might actually end up happening.
Right, and it was the aggressive. The blue team had to be aggressive there. They were down.
I mean, and I think that was the best move, honestly.
Yeah, they
needed to trade that tower.
Exactly.
They needed to.
They were low. This gave them an influx of card power. They were able to rotate back in and pick up some kills. Yes, Grim took a very important tower. We call that, Shane and I on Agora's Rising call that the Prime Lane. And we called it the Prime Lane because after you kill the Prime Guardian, that's where your entire team meets up and walks down that lane to turn it in. And so we see a huge moment of Grim knowing, I'm not going to have time to rotate to these guys. Even with auto sprint, I'm not going to get there in time. But I know I can get this objective, and I can open up a huge point on the map for us when this team fight happens. I don't have to take out your tier 1. I just have to deal with you to get this turned in.
And you saw that immediately.
A little bit of trouble there. He's going to be able to get away. He's going to casually charge away. They're getting aggressive here. The blue team are looking to get something going on there. There's actually Severog who got caught out.
How many stacks is he at?
He's at least 40, ladies and gentlemen, right there. You can tell by the pads on his shoulders.
That's Siphon his ability.
Yep, it's Siphon. It's Q1 PC or Square for you PS4 players out there. And that's what we continue to talk about, how it builds up his damage, it builds up his HP.
But it also makes him sexy.
It also makes him, oh man, does it?
Does it not? I mean, you look at those, that's the Victoria runway right there.
Yeah.
And throughout the match, he starts changing clothes, he starts feeling sexy about himself.
No, and he really knows how to work it.
He does.
At the end of that match.
Notch and I, we deserve some royalties for when that skin comes out.
The angel wings?
The angel wings.
The Victoria's Secret angel wings?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
I mean, did we just design a skin for Epic?
We did.
Are we best friends?
Man.
Are we best friends, he said.
So,
one thing I do want to point out is that you kind of see that min-max coming in there when as soon as Richter left that lane to go get that cringe-inducing pull, which like ended somebody's whole career. It looked like. Honestly, like I physically had to cringe when I saw that Hook grab the kill, but Grim pushed up that lane immediately.
QA members?
Yeah,
is that what just happened?
No, that was just insane to see. Honestly,
Oh, it was such a good kill.
It was like that's the satisfying feeling where you just like,
I want this last hit.
Yeah,
gotcha.
It's just
I'm
like,
gonna kill you with style.
It's the love tap where you just hit him and it's like that's it. That's all it needed.
You feel bad. That's how you die, though. You're like, man.
But yeah, Grim immediately pushed that lane. Instantly. Got that in, like, and that's the instant reaction you need to have. Where like I will burn all my mana, all my spells, any abilities I have. It is of the utmost importance that I get damage on this tower because my team is sacrificing card power and that oh so important experience elsewhere.
Right. I was actually talking last night. So you guys have done something amazing and you've flown out the community. We have people here from Reddit. We have people here from the. It's called the YouTube. Forums and YouTube and Twitch.
That one website.
But I had some people, they were asking, they were saying, I've never heard of that website. They were asking about how do you know when to rotate? When is it okay to rotate? And that's a perfect example. That rotate would have got him killed. They would have lost another person. It would have caused a staggered death, which is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Because now your team's going to come back up, but they're behind because you're not up for another 30 seconds.
And you're trying to defend the tower.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the decision, the correct decision was just that. Push that tower and play it smart. Get your objective. And it was done very, very well.
It was.
They're still being very aggressive. We'll take a look at the card pair in just a second. We have a minion, Chimera and Gideon, rotating through the jungle. Are they going for Prime Orb? I mean, the Chimeras.
They're looking at it, man. They're looking at it.
There's your answer.
Let's elaborate here on the Prime Guardian.
Let's do it.
So every MOBA has its boss. It's Roshan. It's Golem. If you will. It's Baron. Here at Paragon, not only do you have to take this objective of the Prime Guardian, when you obtain victory in this MOBA, you have to obtain it convincingly in order for you to achieve that. You don't just kill him and get a benefit. You have to kill him and then strategically figure out, we got the Aura Prime. It does give you 1,200 card experience, which is about a third of a card level, all the way to your entire team. So there's a little bit of a benefit. But in order to activate that Prime card, then you have to traverse Agora all the way to the other side of the field and turn it in. And it just adds another layer of decision-making, strategy, and tactics that one has to take into consideration. One, as a team, has to take into consideration. If there's a 5v5 that goes down, and it was a scrappy fight, it was a real scrappy fight, it was a 3-for-4 exchange, then there's no person in this game right now who were able to just take down that Prime Guardian quick enough to then escort it across the map. You got to win, and you have to win in a convincing fashion in order to obtain that. And that's one of the beauties, I think. And same, obviously, with your towers, so on and so forth.
Right. And the process of making that decision to decide whether you are going to go for that orb prime is a whole thing in it of itself.
The pit. We call it the pit.
Right. Yeah.
Well, actually, we've changed that recently.
To the gauntlet.
To the gauntlet. It is definitely.
Oh no, and it seems more like a gauntlet because it's one of the things you get there. You have that initial standoff. You maybe have a fight, and then now you have to start doing some math. Where you're, am I going to do this in time before they come back? Will they cut me off?
Yep.
And there's the added layer of depth with whoever is carrying that prime orb has their card activated.
Right now we're just seeing a little bit of back and forth.
Right.
We saw them kind of initiate that, and then the Orange team pulled off. I think they realized that the rotation wasn't.
Oh,
coming.
I think they saw Muriel spot them. They were too nervous for the potential.
So you back off and you go back to farming the jungle, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing both of these teams. They're trying to farm. If we take a look, Sevarog has actually been caught out here by Grux. He is going to be able to dash away. He should be all right. He's at 60 card power. He's getting prettier. Guys, he is
60 card power,
60 siphon. He's getting prettier with those shoulders. Look
That's
how
fast 60 card power.
That was the fastest 60 card power I've ever seen. But I want to take a look at the card power. So we're looking at these teams. They're still a little bit behind on the side of the blue team.
Oh, I remember what I wanted to point out earlier. The last hits. The orange team is doing such a fantastic job.
Oh yeah, look at that CS.
Keeping people
people
on their team in line with each other. So earlier it was 47, 47, 47 on all the 3 farmers on the team.
Right.
All 3 of them who were getting the last hits were all around each other, and they've kind of sustained that with the exception of Gideon, who's fallen off a little bit off of like last hitting as well.
Right.
But look at the people who it's on. Sevarog, Grim.
And look at the lead it's giving them.
Yeah, oh, that's terrifying to me that it's on a carry.
Got a big engagement here. Reversal of Fortune went down. Tier 2 tower is going to fall. Orange team's going to pick that up. I'm sorry, not reversal of Fortune. Containment fence is going to go down. Is that a skewer that just...
That was a skewer that just whipped. Let's see if they're able to get themselves back from this, Notch. They're looking. Grim is trying to do that damage right there. The little Grim with the robot smash and grab onto 2. Grim was able to deflect it with his ability, but that was a beautiful smash and grab. And they are going to be able to take out Chimera here. Richter, even though he missed that ultimate, he still's making plays. He's got that hook. He's going to hook the Grim. Nice. The stasis bomb onto 2. That's hard to do. Grux coming in with no HP. He's just going in there with the swagger, and he's going to take him out, cut him down with the mazes. What a beautiful skin that is. A 2-for-2 exchange, but the tower went down. This exchange still not over. Re-engagement. Here comes Gideon. Here comes that J on Gideon. Look for the black hole. He's going to get himself forward. He's looking for the Grux, but he might have been... Oh, the beautiful hook to peel away from the Grux right there. One more auto attack. He's able to get it. He still doesn't have his ultimate up the black hole for 30 seconds. If he did, that would have been ideal, but oh man, he's looking to secure the kill. Sevarog goes on to Muriel.
Look at how low Decker is right now.
Wow, that was a very scrappy exchange.
No help. Great rotation coming out of the orange team.
Oh yeah, that being able to come in there at the end of what seemed to be a lost fight. We saw that Richter ult not hitting at the beginning of the fight, and you thought, oh, maybe they aren't going to be able to convert this, but their persistence ended up getting turned around on them when the orange team was able to send reinforcements in.
I love the re-engagements.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It wasn't just, oh, we lost, we backed off. We saw, I mean, Grux came back in, he picked up the kill on Grim.
It ends up being a war of attrition.
The smash and grab, huge smash and grab into the status bomb. Status bomb for the Shane here. The stasis bomb, and he stunned 2. I mean, we saw great play out of both of these teams, but Orange was just, they rotated a little bit more effectively.
Right.
And they cleaned up those kills. If I'm the blue team, I'm a little bit disappointed in what just happened right now.
Yeah.
We've lost the tier 2 tower.
Every time.
The style.
Every time.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's safety.
Right.
It's got to be.
I mean, it's got to be like 70% safety, 30% swag.
It's 30% swag. You lost the tier 2 tower, and you lose 4 heroes.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, reversal of fortune. Quick reaction for that reversal of fortune, because they recognize that Sparrow is in a very, very bad spot right now. We're in a bad spot, boys. We're in a bad spot. The smash and grab actually gets him in the Tesla Dome as well. 1-for-1 thus far, but the fight continues. It's a fighter for a Ranger, but Chimera did his job. He was able to get that call and burst someone down. Now Decker's in the front line. That's not what you're looking for. Richter saying, screw you, Decker. I want to go for the robot. Beautiful deflect. Well timed. That is something you don't see every day, but the hook's going to be there. That's going to pull Grim into a situation that he does not want to be in. He should be going down as well. Uses that displacement on his square/Q. 1 for 3 exchange, so they win on that Sparrow, but they went a little bit too hard, guys. Don't get me wrong, a Ranger. Killing that Ranger and hindering their progression is important to do, but giving up 3 kills for it, that is not a good exchange you want to be taking right there. And Gideon wasn't even in that fight.
That was a light bait if I'd ever seen one. A light bait. Like, maybe not super intentional for the Sparrow to get chunked by that Grim in the jungle.
Right.
But the ability to turn that around so quickly shows me that it they saw that coming potentially.
Yeah, they've got vision, they've got wards, they knew there was somebody there. Hey, Sparrow, go over here. I've got my ult queued up. I've got you.
Also, maybe I'm giving Richter too much credit, but the ult to bait out the deflector shield in order to land the hook, I think that it was probably that decision was made because I can't pull you back into my team with the ultimate, but I can with my hook.
That's a very good point.
Right?
That's a very good point.
So I use the one ability to get you to use it, and if you don't use it, then I hook you out of my ult.
So let's elaborate on that. Let's break that down for Grim right now. One of the big things about Grim is, again, he isn't very mobile. Most of the Rangers aren't your proverbial ranged carry. Look at that model.
Look at that. It's so
Look at that little robot being controlled by little Grim up there, man.
Our
team knocked it. Our team knocked it out of the park. And speaking of knocking things around, Severug picked up a kill on his favorite friend here.
Did you know Grim's all of his debts have been forgiven? It's a little lore.
You're right. Little bullet point right there.
When he picked up EXE.
It's like something.
But you were talking about his stasis or his shield, correct?
That's the big thing that you're looking for on Grim players is the ability to deflect. It's his right click for the PC players and his R1 for you wonderful PlayStation 4 players out there. And you basically are able to deflect any ability. Containment field is going to go down, looking for some follow-up. Anytime you see this, there's that black hole always on time, but immediately interrupted. Well done with the Tesla Dome. They're sitting in it. They got to be really, really careful. You can tell they're avoiding it. They're doing a good job of avoiding that big blue dome of death. And at the same time, though, they get taken out. So Orange team, they came back and they lost that last engagement, came into the Prime Guardian, took him out, and now they're going to look to get the orb buff for themselves, gentlemen.
That's honestly what I like to see is the commitment. The ability to commit to a fight.
Oh, but they're not done yet. They're not done yet. They're going in there. There's the skewer. And I actually believe Severog might be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to use that route to get him. But Severog is just zoning for his team. He was just zoning him out in that choke point right there. We see this very frequently, where this area right here in the jungle, it's just 3 choke points leading into one area. So it's very difficult to penetrate that if the team knows what they're doing. So they zoned out. Right. Now Grim, oh my lord, that preemptive hook. This Grim player has the reaction time of a friggin' god. That's so very difficult. Let's go ahead and take a look at that last engagement here as Grim inevitably traverses down the jungle to try to turn in this Orb Prime. Hello, Chimera. So Grux is in there. The Tesla Dome goes down. We've seen the containment field and the black hole, but Richter goes in there. Or it was actually the Grux ultimate has a little bit of a stun. That's what interrupted it. But look at the Orange team, just right on the edge there of the Tesla Dome from Gadget. They're able to just like almost sit there and almost like, we know it's there. We're just going to watch.
We're just going to watch.
We're fine. We're going to hang right out the edge here and not fall over and like
I love you take your tanky front line of Severog, and then you throw a Gadget up there who has her slow, and I'm sorry, the name of it is escaping me right now. What is Gadget's slow?
Her little air turret.
Her little Rafflecopter.
Sentry bot?
Her Sentry bot, but it slows. So you've got your tanky front line, and now you have a team that has to go past the Severog, and the slow of a Gadget, plus the damage she can deal, to get the 3 of your team taking the Orb Prime. Like, it was just perfectly set up so they couldn't get it, and Orange team secured that, and now they have their Prime buff activated.
They were able to turn in that Orb Prime. They did it while we were going over the last replay there.
And the one thing that I think is so key about that fight is that Decker potentially could have just said, hey, you guys keep doing Prime, I'm going to stall them with my ultimate, ulted a little bit earlier, but she was very patient, dropped that ultimate, and although she did only catch that Grux on his charge trying to escape, she did catch him. So the fact that they were able to convert that into a singular kill and get immediately back on Prime, and then just send the Severog to do that, hey, don't come in here, like, Baby should be the bouncer for the Prime pit, for the gauntlet.
If you're not VIP like me and Shane, you're not getting in.
He was like, you're not getting in. I'm not letting you in, man. You got there's $20 cover fee. And they didn't have $20.
So here in Paragon, there's a lot of visual cues. There's a lot of visual cues.
$20.
I don't know what club has a $20 cover fee. We're not in LA. Like, that's not...
And one of the biggest visual cues with that Prime card activation, it gives everyone that orange, that either the orange glow if you're on the orange team, or guess what color glows if you're on the blue team, Notch?
purpley?
It's definitely blue.
It's definitely not.
Definitely blue. And that is just another factor of intimidation right here. So that's how you know the prime card's activated is there. That Chimera's going in underneath the tier 2. He's going to send out the ball, not doing much damage. Not sure about that engagement under the tier 2 tower without any sort of follow-up there. I think that was just a statement like, hey, Gadget, I'm just going to come in here, say hello, a little tomahawk to the face and say goodbye, because I can do that.
But we talked about this last game of how the role of Chimera changes.
Yes.
We're at the card power now.
The way you play him.
Right. So he jumped in, and you saw the call. It didn't do all the damage as it was doing before.
Yeah.
So now his
went right to a dial tone.
Right. His ability now is to jump into that back line and lock down and keep people like a Decker, for example, or a Gadget locked down, so your ranged carries and the rest of your team
look at this.
can do what they need to do.
Look at this. This is.
Oh my God, he's a runway.
I mean, you can. It's so oppressive. Like you feel like you cannot leave this lane. Oh, the route to interrupt the mural ultimate. Oh, what a fantastic.
He gets him.
Oh,
he's able to get him right there. So right now we're seeing split pressure on the map here. Sevarog is over here. Gideon's over here. An inhibitor is going to fall. So they are just playing them like a saxophone right here. Is what they are doing. They just put pressure in all lanes. They weren't able to put up a response. Sevarog is in this lane, put it over here. In the mid lane, the lane was pushing in, and then of course over in red lane, the inhibitor inevitably did fall. Just a great job, just out again. With it being a MOBA, it's just not all about getting kills, it's objectives. You can't win the game unless you push down those towers. The game ain't over until the core is able to get taken out here.
Right.
And they're putting themselves in a beautiful situation. The Prime Guardian was just taken, so the ability for the blue team to pick up that Prime Guardian and get their inhibitors back online isn't going to be there. Mario's going to get taken out here. I got to say, Orange team, man, they are definitely, they've been ahead, but right now with this inhibitor falling, the blue team seems to be just a little off kilter here.
That's 2 inhibitors.
Yeah.
That's 3 kills. Sevarog, like Mooney
Sevarog
pointed
is a true
out,
terror right now.
I don't know if we have that replay, but
he has made a believer out of this for me just off of the singular game due to the fact that he was so repeatedly oppressive to Muriel, not allowing her to leave for those team fights if he saw her.
And
like
that
with that
ult stun right there.
Stunning the ultimate's so key. And a kill was immediately converted after that.
And he looks beautiful.
Look at that.
Look at that. The spikes.
He's got to be careful not to hit it 80 miles an hour, else he might go to the future if it catches his wires.
He's so pretty. But they've played so well. This Orange team, the advantage they have right now, there's 3 inhibitors down.
Yeah.
Orb Prime, you can't defensively turn that in because it doesn't spawn for another 8 minutes.
And you're fighting Orb Prime against a team that it currently has a Sevarog at 60 card points.
Right.
Various other team members high as well. Grim just hit 57 card points.
Right.
Like those are those are the small things that really start adding up against you, and you start having to think, how do we turn this back around?
I actually want to look at Sevarog's build. He's at 60 card points. His build is going to be filled up here. So he has Mad Sport Dash,
which pick up for that wave clear as well.
Yeah, it's the wave clear. He deals 15 damage plus player level, so a total of 30
right
damage.
Now, yes.
Right. Plus he can build it tanky. He's got his spiked bone plate, which is physical armor and physical damage. He's got a Lord's Ward, which is going to give him
True
sight.
MVP, gone to work for the team.
He went health and cooldown reduction. I've never seen that before on a Sevarog. Plus he's got Thorn Greenweave, again, energy armor and damage. Wind Carver Blade, attack speed and damage. And
just a well-rounded build.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be the Swift Creek card, which is going to give him the attack speed and more health. Just that card alone, 600 health. He's not. He's at 100. He's at over 80 stacks. What is his health right now?
He's at 3,200 health.
3,200
That's a lot.
health. Yeah, I mean, is Gideon at 3,000
for the damage that he was doing with that Prime card? That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Right. So
he's actually the aspect of death right now. For the sake of this game, Muriel, every time he sees her and she is not with a teammate nearby, she is most likely going to be dying to him.
Right. Yep. He's tanky. He's dealing a ton of damage off of his Q. He's got the attack speed.
He's got the control.
He's got the control. He's got an insane ultimate. Right now, that's your front line. I mean, we saw the split push, but when he goes to engage, watch him commit to the engage and then the follow-up coming from the team.
There's an interesting ebb and flow. We've been talking about Chimera, we've been talking about Sevarog, and with this being a team-based game, that while Chimera is really strong early game, Sevarog, don't get me wrong, his early game's pretty good, but Sevarog really ramps it up in the late game.
Yeah.
And they're able, as one starts to start maybe die down and have to change up from primary initiation role, the other one is able to take that in. Beautifully done. And this may be the last fight of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Containment field around the core. Here comes Gideon with the big black hole. They interrupted. The Tesla Dome is down as well, so they got to be really, really careful about that. The skewer, they're looking to end the game. Can they bring it down? The knock-up right there from the Versal of Fortune. This is looking like the blue team may be able to defend their core. Can they keep it alive? It's at 50% HP. This is a nail-biter, ladies and gentlemen, but I think this is going to go to Team Orange. They said, screw the heroes, we wanted to take out the core, and that is a MOBA. That is great play. That is Paragon.
That was the game. That was an aggressive.
You saw that Sevrog.
That was an aggressive play.
Be aggressive.
Oh, just the walk up?
They went in there.
You've got 5 standing under a tower, and you just decide,
it's...
I'm going to take this right now. That's aggressive.
It's like, I'm sorry, were you defending this?
Yeah.
I'm going to have this.
Not today. They were confident. They had won all of the team fights. They had the card power advantage. They had a minion wave with them. And they said, let's do this. And hopefully we can see it again.
Can we? Do we have that technology?
I think it's possible.
I think it's possible.
Honestly.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look.
And it's
Hi,
one
Muriel.
Hey, Muriel. How are you? So this right here, Richter going in there, he gets caught out. Chimera has to be very careful. Grim's just sitting in the back line, going to take him out.
This was that early engage.
Yeah, this is the initial attempts in the invasion in the jungle.
Yeah. Now here, we saw the reversal of fortune right there for just a second. It was a little bit too late. The Decker and the Gideon here were always on point. This is that team fight we saw. This is where Orange team literally split it up, where Decker got the containment field on the right and then was able to get the stasis bomb on the left, checking both of the hallways right there, being a good hallway patrol. And it all came down to that Decker Gideon early game, setting up the containment field, keeping people within that area, Gideon coming in with a huge amount of damage from Black Hole. And, I mean, as far as abilities to interrupt that Black Hole, they didn't have as many as one was expect. They pretty much had Richter, and that's about, and Grux, and that's about it. So Gideon was definitely a great pickup here. Seeing the fact that there's not many hard stuns to interrupt that Black Hole, and Gideon got a lot of value.
And
you're
committing a CC resource if you do want to interrupt that.
Right.
So you then have to think, is he doing more damage than potentially...
Yeah. Every time, man. Every time in these replays.
And Grim's positioning, can we talk about that? In these team fights, has been immaculate for the most part, except of course cases.
Oh, look, another Black Hole and another containment field. But the main one here, they were going for the core. Just very, very well done.
Very well done.
Great movement and like consistency, just hammering it home that we have this Sevrog in offlane that's going to oppress you, stop your Muriel from like being as mobile or being as impactful as you hoped, and by putting that Muriel, you make a mistake and are letting me farm.
Yeah.
Basically the latent disrespect of allowing Sevrog to farm.
Oh man, so disrespectful.
Honestly, I think flat out I think it is, because you know that he's going to be able to farm.
Yeah. And
you know that if he is able to farm, that he's going to be able to become that tanky, scary person. And all it takes is building a few damage items to be able to be that disruptor in team fights.
And we talked about affinities. Sevrog is a growth affinity, and the big thing about growth is it's the only affinity that you're able to consistently build not only damage, but also damage mitigation at the same time.
Yes.
Which is why when you play him in that role, the Thorn Greenweave, the Spiked Bone Plate, which is why you can play, and the Swift Creek card. You get health, you get attack speed, you get damage. Those 3 cards right there
trifecta for
synergize so very well that you're able to play him in that way. Affinities enabling to play him in that much more damage dealer and control-based fighter as opposed to the damage absorber like a Steel or a Greystone. But at the same time, you can still build him to play him in that role.
Speaking of those, we actually have, for the people who do not remember what they were voting for at the beginning, I just want to run through this again. If you were on the orange, if you voted #orange, your reward would have been the 1 card pack, and you voted #blue, it would have been the 5 affinity rolls. I believe, blue team won the vote?
I think it was blue team won the vote, but I think orange was the winner.
Orange is the winner of the challenge, yes.
I think orange is 2-0, isn't it?
Orange 2-0.
Yeah, look at that. Maybe lucky color.
Could be.
Anyways, thanks for that last match. It was exciting. We are going to be rolling out, taking a break here, and going to the next match. We're going to have Zeke Mateus up here. That soft, sultry voice you hear in those videos.
Okay.
I'm looking at him right now. Oh, he's so red-faced.
Break. You're coming back.
Voice.
You're ready.